All right, welcome to the status quo, where real vets talk about real issues. Here we are. It is the 27th of September. Beautiful Tuesday.
Oh, oh,
Oh.
whoa.
Welcome. You are here with the giggling infidel again.
They call me Giggles.
Giggles.
Giggles. I wish I had a hip hop
Alrighty.
horn to introduce myself.
You know what? We need to do that. That's one thing I need to. That's a good point. Now that we're on though, we'll talk about that later. Oh, why is it doing all these alerts right now? It's giving me alerts for people who have already.
Second, I got a family emergency. I'm still here. I'm just gonna mute myself.
Alrighty, sounds good. Okay, so this week we are talking about the morale in the troops. How good leadership, bad leadership, our friends, anybody can affect that. So I do apologize for the alerts going off. I don't know why they're doing it now when they were given a few days ago during a completely different stream. I don't know what's going on.
Sorry about that.
You're fine. You're good.
I swear, it's like my whole family's just like, oh, so she just called me. She's like, oh, there's a free chair out there. What? No. Check the timestamp. 5 hours ago, somebody came and got it.
Right.
Oh, if for anybody listening, if you think you find something online that's free, check the timestamp. If it's more than an hour, that shit's gone. That shit's been yanked. Been technically acquired.
Alright, let me out my sound here because I'm trying to
So yeah,
set it up where it's not
about that
too
morale.
loud. Okay, I'm still trying to figure out the sounding here, and we're being told early this time instead of the last 10 minutes of the stream, like it's been the last few weeks. I'm trying to get it situated so they can hear me without an echo and not hear my speakers coming through my
That
I
audio.
apologize if anybody hears my son screaming. He's playing Fortnite, and apparently it is the end of the world for every little thing. So
I heard Fortnite. That's what I heard. I heard Fortnite with enthusiasm.
he's just going nuts up there. He's working on that victory crown again, I guess. I don't know. Crazy kid.
People are addicted to Fortnite.
I would say he takes after me, and I'd probably be right because I was just as wild when I was little, but now I'm like the complete opposite. I just want like quiet. So of course I would be stuck with a very loud child. Just my luck. Talk about morale with that, man.
Right. That's a good segue.
All right, so military morale or unit
Oh, fuck.
cohesion.
Well, let's see.
Oh my goodness. He is just nuts up there. Alrighty. So, since this topic was your idea, if you would like to start off before your next in-house emergency happens.
You know, morale, that's an important thing. I mean,
It absolutely is.
I mean, you would say it's like one of the basics. Like, there's a basic thing for camaraderie. Morale's one of them. And just to let everybody know, mandatory fun day is not a fucking morale builder. But you know,
okay, it depends on the leadership putting it on, because it can be if it's done right and not done for the sake of just looking good.
I had a company commander that, for lack of better words, reminded me of Danny from Full House.
Like Bob Saget, Danny?
Yeah. Now, we all know Bob Saget stand-up. If you don't, look him up. Man's a fucking hilarious genius.
I do not
But he gets a
recommend
little
watching it in
raunchy.
front of
He
children.
gets a little raunchy. Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't watch
he
it in
get
front of
his
kids.
comedy's a little raunchy, but it's good. But just to see that, oh, we're gonna have this clean fun. Like I think so. This dude had us doing like wheelbarrow races, sack races. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is this? Is this some 5-year-old's birthday party? Yeah, grown men. Like this ain't fun. But then we had our first sergeant who was like, you know what we're gonna do for mandatory fun day? What's that top? We're gonna go to the paintball arena down there in Texas. We're gonna have a it's gonna be junior enlisted versus senior enlisted,
Right.
and that was great. Fucking getting to shoot my first sergeant in the chest with a paintball, that was great.
That
It's
sounds
just
fun.
it's
I
based.
mean,
Oh
I think I
yeah.
told you the story before where we floated down the river for the mandatory fun day. Did I tell that story before? It was really fun, aside from the 2nd-degree sunburns that I got on my legs.
What's that?
Yeah, I have told that story before because I was talking about how they were threatening to NJP me for getting sunburn on my legs, but it was a
Oh
mandatory
yeah.
fun day that I was required to go to, and they didn't provide sunscreen for the pale faces.
Yeah, no.
So they were like,
And then
no, okay, we won't, because they knew that it would have been a fight.
yeah, no, yeah. Now the fun ones are definitely, where it's like I said, it has to depend on the person, but sometimes they get these ones where like, oh, there's no drinking and we're gonna like read from a book. Like, are you fucking kidding me? This ain't a book club. This ain't no book club shit. Where's the alcohol? Like but I don't know. Sometimes that backfires because you get those one units where those guys just drink like a fish and end up getting butt naked and end up scarring the first sergeant's wife while he's like
Yeah.
helicoptering his Johnson. Yeah, that ain't fun.
So I did a little bit of research after you brought up the idea for the stream tonight, and in 2019, so relatively recent, but obviously not. This is pre-COVID. But one of the quotes from this article here, and it will be posted in the Discord. So if you're watching, either on Twitch or on YouTube, whichever you're watching it on,
That link to the
click on the link
Discord.
for Discord and go in there.
Check it
and
out.
There is a channel. There's a channel for links. I throw links in there that I talk about during the stream or anything like that, or resources, anything like that. So, but this one I'll throw in there. Where did it go? Oh, right here. This one right here, and this kind of talks about the bad morale that you were talking about, kind of like an explanation. Congress and military leadership have all gone in on the idea that comfort and happiness equals morale, and that morale correlates to readiness, when in fact it's all backwards.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They think that, having brand new furniture every 2 years is what's going to boost the morale, when that really doesn't matter when they're getting, their ass chewed out.
It's
for
most of the time it's
dumbest
just
things.
generally giving a fuck.
You know what? Give me 1 second. I need to go make him be quiet.
Oh boy, yeah, but for anybody watching though, it's good. It's a good thing. Honestly, I've heard more good stuff about the Air Force's morale. Those guys have got it done. I don't know. They've cracked.
I'm coming back. Of course, the one day I told him, today's the one day I need you to be quiet, is the day he's 10 times worse than normal. Just my luck.
He's like, he's just over there fucking chugging pixie sticks, just.
I don't know where he gets his energy from. I mean, he just runs around all day long at school. I don't know. But
It's got
I
that.
think he's fighting the fact that he's being tired and he's overdoing it. I think that's what it is.
Just hook him
Now
up
that I've
with
been
the.
running up and down the stairs, I get up there, I tell him to be
Just hook
quiet.
him up.
I tell him
It's
to be
like,
quiet.
shut
He
up!
acts like I'm crazy. I get halfway back down the stairs and he starts back up again. So I ran all the way back up and all the way back down.
You should get one of those like electronic air horns that are like somewhere in his room where he can't find it, and every time he starts acting up, just.
See, that's
Scare
the thing is with
the-
his headphones, he can't hear anything outside of the headphones. And he can't hear himself,
You know what
so he thinks that he's
yeah.
too quiet. I mean,
Because headphones had to be for 2 ears since the Xbox 360 days. I miss the old headphones. Where it was one.
anyways, back to what we were talking about. Let's see. Let me take that and throw it in the Discord. Raise links.
Yeah, morale booster though. That is a definite. Like, okay, let me see what I got here.
It's an opinion piece, the one that I put in there. So it's not based on any like facts, or I don't think it's based on any massive studies or anything like that. I think it's just somebody with experience gave an opinion. Which is exactly, where ideas come from anyway, so. Providing the resources and time to effectively accomplish a mission is what lifts the spirits of the troops. There are secondary benefits that derive from high readiness. Troops that train extensively and have all equipment they need will have higher morale and confidence. I think this article is really good about talking about the morale as like a unit, like how they work together. But I think that going on an individual level, a personal level, it's a lot different than just having the nice stuff. Because I've met some of the best service members that their morale was pretty high. They did really, really good. They were happy, they liked their job, and they were living in the crappiest barracks ever because it had nothing to do with that specifically. It was more their unit was treating them well, and their direct leaders were treating them, with a basic respect. Which I think gets lost a lot. I know that we've had I gotta start this. I forgot to start it. Why isn't it starting?
Sorry about that.
Okay, let me. There we go. Okay, so what I was saying was I think that a lot of times, we've had discussions before, that dove deeply into leadership and how good leaders and bad leaders can definitely, affect the outcome of, the morale within the units. And then even going higher into bigger than just, a shop or that unit or that squadron, or, you get higher up into the battalion level, and then higher and higher up, you get people who have power trips and they think that they have an opinion about something, so therefore everybody must agree with them or they're not going to get, what they want. And that's one thing I had noticed was I had one sergeant major, and I have talked about this guy before. Yeah, it's really bad if you're either remembered for being a good person or being a bad person. It's the mediocre ones that don't get remembered. But he was not remembered for all the good reasons. And any Marine that I served with that served under this guy as well will tell you the same thing that I'm saying. He was just awful. But he would like pick favorites. He would pick favorites in the unit, and everyone else was just trash to him. So.
Oh yeah, those.
And it definitely, the unit did awful. The unit was doing bad then. Like that during his regime of being a sergeant major, we had at least 4 arrests in my unit alone under his leadership. Because he would put everybody on lockdown for the dumbest shit, and then when they'd finally get freed, they go out and do something stupid. I don't know if you're muted at the moment. It doesn't
Yeah,
say
I'm
that you are, but
sorry,
No.
a lot of family stuff going on right now. My cat's limping. I have no idea why he's limping. But no, just fucking everybody just thinks that, oh, I got these rockers and chevrons, so I can abuse power. And it's been that way for a very long fucking time.
oh,
And what
absolutely.
I don't understand,
Big
it's been
time.
that way for fucking for decades.
I am still letting everybody know that they are able to join the conversation.
Yeah, they suck. Sorry. Oh, it's one of them damn
you're
days.
fine. Hey, you know what? Life happens. As you can tell, I mean, last week my son almost burnt the house down. My microwave still smells like
Yeah.
chemicals. It still
Yes.
smells like burnt styrofoam.
Everybody's stuck on the on position. I'm the only one trying to switch back to off.
Being in the off position is fun. I like being in the off position.
I think his leg's broken. Now I gotta after this I gotta go make a splint and split his arm. I don't know how the hell he break his arm for, little cat. Well, he's not really little, he's like a year. Just
A little kitty cat. Cats are cute, especially when they're little. I totally was going to my car the other day. I don't remember what we were going. What were we doing? It was at night though, but we were going to the car and there was a cat walking underneath, and it was a little kitten. Like it couldn't have been more than 8 weeks old. It was tiny. But he was just walking around doing his thing. But we have a lot of strays in our area because there's a lot of field mice and stuff nearby.
yeah, I don't know what
But
the hell
anyways.
happened. She's not saying nothing, so I'm expecting her to walk out, just freaking out here in a sec, because that's how she processes stuff. She just holds it in until boom, atom bomb.
Oh
And then
no.
I gotta sit and deal with the
Does she know
whirlwind
that
of
you're doing
emotions.
this right now?
Oh,
Does she know that?
I know
you're
this
doing
is. Speaking of a morale killer, you heard about what Cartoon Network's doing, right?
No.
So, have you ever watched Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Back in the day, yeah.
Okay, so they're bringing Courage back for one more season, but this is the season where he goes, like he's gonna
Oh,
die,
don't say
and I'm
that.
like, oh hell.
No, don't say that. That's gonna make me sad. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, it sucks. Sorry about the noise. Trying to rearrange to a new area.
You're fine.
We're more secluded.
So I do have another article here that is a little bit more recent. It's about a year old, so this is post-COVID. This one does have more to do with political administration and,
Okay.
how that makes, morale different.
You see,
It is, yeah.
neck is just. I'm gonna switch over to Wi-Fi. My signal's a little spotty.
I will say that this is probably a very biased article here, but there's probably parts about it that are true. I mean,
I'm gonna look at it real quick. Okay.
Avoidance strategies, absolutely. We call that skating. My skates were golden towards the end of my time, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, our military civilian leadership is corrupting. Wow. I love how they say the leadership is corrupt and incompetent for the civilian part, but they're not calling themselves out on it.
Right. Well, when it comes to morale, and it's posted in that, it's a picture, well, a tweet that has the picture in that link that I posted. Hello, Melissa. Welcome to the stream. But General George Patton once said, and I do know that this is a quote he actually said, was that the secret is not new weaponry. Wars may be fought using weapons, but they are won by men. It is the spirit of the men who follow and the man who leads that gains the victory, which is the morale. You know, I mean, you look at, you know, even ancient warriors and stuff like that, and they had a leader that they depended on and a leader that treated them well, and they were willing to rush into any kind of battle, you know, to do it. And they won wars because there was a sense of, well, I should say there was less fear because they trusted who they were following into battle.
Exactly. There was more transparency.
There was that as well. I think that as time has progressed and technology has advanced, including, you know, the internet and cell phones and having the world's, you know, everything that you can think of, you know, education, every intelligence you can think of at your fingertips, and articles being sent to each other, you know, instantly, as opposed to waiting for things to be printed in newspaper and then passed out. And you know, I think that with how quickly things are coming, people are able to judge a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And in today's day and age, with the media wars going on and nobody knows who's telling the truth, that everybody is a little bit hesitant to immediately trust whoever's in charge. And I mean, that starts at the top. That's just, you know, human nature, that we're going to be like, we can't even figure out what kind of president that we like. You know, and this is supposed to be somebody that the entire country depends on. And how am we can't even trust him. What makes you think I'm going to trust this person,
Two things,
you know, directly ahead of me?
Two things the military lost. I want to say after World War II, this should probably have started happening in Korea. Because I heard a lot of Vietnam veterans talk about, you know, shitty leaders. How you had these LTs, you know, these lieutenants and captains, where all they wanted were the awards that came with, you know, the unit meritorious awards that you can get. All they were interested was that and all the campaign shit. They weren't interested in the lives. And I would just hear these stories where, you know, they're walking through the jungles of Vietnam, and these fucking lower grunts hate and do not trust these higher enlisted or officer personnel, where they're just literally contemplating, man, we could just shoot them in the back and say a fucking a VC did it. I'm like, damn. Just the damn. You know, to where World War II, you know, you had boys like Iwo Jima and D-Day and shit, where it was a fucking meat grinder, but they had enough faith in the men leading them to literally go into the mouth of hell. And that's changed a lot.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Yeah. It's sad, really.
Okay. Sorry, I'm still.
Because you think, oh man, these guys were. I don't know. It's like the leaders that they had in World War II were just larger than life. Like Eisenhower, MacArthur, fucking all these crazy ass generals. You know, Patton. Fucking Patton. That motherfucker believed in fucking Valhalla.
I think that to an extent, every military person to an extent believes in Valhalla.
No,
And I
like
think it just
he.
gives you
Okay,
a
so
frightening
Patton.
purpose to
Yes. So
keep
Patton,
going.
as a young man, as a young boy or young man, had to discover the Viking sagas, and that's where it really kicked it into him, like the honor and being there for your fellow warrior, and linked up shield to shield while you're slaughtering fucking hundreds of fucking motherfuckers that would see you dead. Like, I don't know, like they don't make them like they used to. They sure as fuck don't, and when they do, they are so rare.
Oh,
They're rare
Patrick,
like
you
hen's
made it.
teeth.
Welcome.
Patrick, our Air Force brethren.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Let's go.
You looking
Anyways,
fresh as fuck.
we are
Look at
talking about the
you.
morale. We're talking about the
I'm
morale of
drunk
the troops.
and high.
You know what? I'm working on that.
I've been drinking vodka for like a day and a half, and
Well, I am glad that you are
smoking a
here
lot of
because
weed.
now you
so
can
I'm
give
good.
me a buffer if I have to go take care of my kid because he won't stop screaming. He has been literally this entire stream.
That's
he
why I
has just
don't
been
have any
screaming
kids. I
at his
love kids.
PlayStation the entire
You know
time.
what? You know what's funny? I'm gonna go back to my hometown in Oklahoma for the first time in like 10 years, and here in a few days. Because I've been living out in Denver for like 10 years now, since I was about 29. I'm 39 now, so my dad and I are going to go to the Oklahoma-Texas game down in Dallas. So that's going to be fun. They fucking lost at home the other night, man. I'm so fucking mad, dude. What the fuck?
So
Like they've lost a total of 12 times at home in the past 20 years. That's it since 1999. 12 losses at home. That's it. So
He's gonna be
everybody's just like pissed off and ready to like move on by now, I guess.
Patrick's gonna be there starting shit in the sand soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna be with my dad, so it's I wouldn't fight in front of my dad unless somebody like tried to hit him or something like that. Then I would kick somebody's ass. But yeah,
Watch it, your old man that starts the shit soon.
He doesn't even like. His temper's not even near as bad as mine is. Like he's not a fighter. Like plus he never took any formal training either. Like I used to train Taekwondo for years. So like, and most of the stuff that I learned how to use in a real fight, you learn when you're like a green or like a yellow and a green belt. I mean, when I tested for my green belt, they take it hard on the adults. I had to spar 2 black belts at the same time for 3 5-minute rounds just to get my green belt.
Jesus.
I got yellow belt when I was like 8 years old.
That's what I'm saying. They don't make the kids do. They hand the belts to little kids out like candy as long as they know they're fucking patterns.
That's all it was.
Adults.
I mean, literally, it was like we had to like do a specific like step.
All they really want out of the
kids
kids is to be able to do their patterns correctly, and if they can do that, which I saw them do, a lot of those kids are really talented. One of the first black belts I ever met, the kid was 13 years old. So I mean, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I just got basic karate, little yellow belt from the city. Put on a little class.
I've got a little jujitsu.
Yeah, I never sparred in tournaments because like I've told you guys before, like I think I mentioned on the podcast tonight, I do have epilepsy, so I can't risk like getting a concussion. But what I did medal in was breaking a few times. I like to do that. That was fun. So when I was a blue belt, they taught us how to do a flying side kick, right? That is fucking cool, by the way. Especially if you're kind of a big, tall guy like me. I don't weigh a lot, but I'm pretty tall and I have long legs. So I did like 4 boards at once, flying side kick to test for my blue belt, and everybody was like, all the little kids were like, "Holy shit!" It was funny. They got it on a video and stuff.
That's awesome.
Here's an interesting segue. Military hand-to-hand combat. Good for morale. Like
they never taught us.
Yeah,
they never taught us any of that in the Air Force. But I knew some
in the
Marines.
Marine Corps, they have a whole McMap program. They've got
right.
a
Like
whole
Nikki knows how to do
program.
like the Marine Corps martial arts thing. I'm sure.
I was a light brown belt.
Yeah. See, they have their own discipline there in the Marine Corps, which is really cool. I love that.
I think Gills
so
are
McMap is
registered
basically
black belt.
like all of the different martial arts like slapped together. It's got Krav.
Yeah, like big Krav Maga, like all you name it. They try to throw it in there. Yeah.
Yeah, they just kind of took a little bit of everything and just kinda made their own,
anything
which
that
is
can
pretty
save your
neat.
life in the field, they try to throw it in there, and that's what I love about the Marine Corps martial arts thing. Like I never learned a whole lot about it, but I do know it's a big mixture of just like any discipline that has any move that you can like literally kill a guy with your bare hands. They'll fucking teach you that shit, and I love it, man.
The Marine
Like
Corps.
yeah, crush a man's trachea with your bare fucking hands, you know, stuff like that. Yeah,
Fucking goddamn.
hell
Doing that
yeah.
fucking
I think my
doing that
favorite part
fucking
of
Indiana
McNap
Jones
is
shit.
is the instructor coming to tackle your ass.
You
if you have
know,
a mouth
this
guard in.
this part of your hand right here, it looks all fleshy and shit, but this is actually one of the hardest parts of your fucking hand right here. Your palm, like the inner palm, like just right there, and then right here too. Two of
The
both of
heel
your
of the
hardest parts of
palm.
your hand right there. You could fucking kill somebody with either one. You hit them in the right spot.
So we used to do this thing every Thursday, and it did boost. It boosted a lot of morale.
Oh yeah, being able to jump on
we-
here and just be
yeah.
able to bullshit, you know, talking about different topics on here, that definitely it brought us all together and it gave us something, you know, to look forward to. Because
So is that the subject for tonight? Morale? Okay.
yeah,
Morale,
Okay.
good morale,
Dude,
bad morale.
you know what was good for morale? A fucking day off. That's what's good for fucking morale, man. Like I used to work
You're not
18-hour
wrong.
shifts 4 days straight, right? So like I'd go and like on the fifth day I'd sleep for like 20 hours without even getting a big piss, and then for like the next 48 hours we just get drunk in the dorm. Like the first sergeant would come in. She was like a senior master sergeant, and she would come by and like make sure everybody's 21 and shit, and then she would leave. She'd be like, "All right, boys, don't get too drunk." And we'd be like, "Yes, ma'am." We'd be sitting there. We had like an island counter in the dorm, like the size of like a small table, right? So we just used it to play beer pong on all night, and we just get totally
yeah,
shit
we used to do
faced.
that kind of stuff. We used to do that kind of stuff. Oh, we had Marines that were jumping off, you know, the second story building with a sheet tied to their hands and their feet, hoping it would work like a parachute. Never.
Oh my
worked.
god, are you fucking kidding me? That's crazy.
No, oh
dude.
come on, we were Marines. We would do the stupidest shit ever. Like we had a
That's
guy.
Dude,
We
wow.
had one guy.
Okay.
He was a big dude. He was a big guy too. Like he was one of those he was just born built, you know. And he would do the milk challenge. He would buy a gallon of milk and he'd go out into the grass in the middle of the squad bay, because our not squad bay, but our barracks were shaped like a square with the like smoke pit in the middle, little beer garden in the middle, and the tables and stuff were in the very center with like walkways going to each corner, but there was grass in, you know, around. He would stand in the grass and he would see how quickly he could chug a whole entire gallon of milk. And I think out of like the 17 or 18 times
That's
I'd
so
seen him
gross.
attempt it, he actually,
That's so gross.
He actually got
Like,
it.
how do you not?
Yeah.
Like, he had to puke, right? Like a few times.
He
after
eventually
that, right?
would. Most
Yeah.
of the time he would. Yeah, there was only a couple times that he was actually able
Like,
to
first of
hold
all,
the
you'll
entire
fucking
gallon
puke
down.
doing that shit when you're sober. Just imagine when you're already drunk. That's just like, oh man, that's a terrible.
Well, he
idea.
never did it. He never did it sober.
That's a terrible idea when you're sober. When you're already drunk, man, that's just gonna make
And
the
then you go and
nausea.
throw up
That's
and
just
get
gonna be.
even more
Oh, that's gonna be like
dehydrated.
10
Yeah,
times worse.
I don't know.
Oh, that's
I
the
don't know how
worst
he did
idea
it.
I've ever
But
heard
the
of,
thing
man.
is- the thing
that's
is
why
that
that's
he
why
was
they
one
call
of
you
the
guys
most-
jarheads, right?
He was one of the most like loved guys in the unit. Like he was the one. If you had a,
Well,
if
I'm
you
sure
had,
that it was
you know,
highly entertaining, right?
well, I mean, if you needed help with something, he would be the first one to help you. Like I can't tell you how many times
Yeah,
you know
that's
he
cool.
would
Guys
he would
like
come
that
to
are
me and be
cool,
like,
yeah.
"Hey, I need a DD. Do you mind driving me and my friends around?" I'd be
Like when he's just at
"Okay."
work
He'd be
and
like,
you need
"Here's my
something, he's
car
there to
keys."
help you out. Yeah.
He would let me drive his car around while him and his guys got drunk at the bar, and I would just my car was, you know, if my car wasn't working, he would just let me use his car. I'd be like, "Go whatever, go see a movie. I'll let you know when we're done. Here's money." Like he would just give me money to go do whatever I wanted to do while he was getting drunk at the bar.
That's an
Yeah, I mean, he was a
awesome.
cool guy. I mean, I think I want to say at least JB, at least in the hidey hole. You're in the hidey hole too, but in the hidey hole, there's at least 2 or 3 people in there that might actually still know him.
Dude, I've wished for years that I could get a hold of my old suite mate from the dorms, man. Nichols, the guy was fun, dude. We used to just get drunk and play video games all the time. Dude, that guy was just a fucking chain smoker after he had some vodka in his system. He'd either be drinking Jack Daniels or like he'd buy a bottle of Smirnoff and whatever, or just kill that fucking shit, dude. And he just wanted and like and yeah, but I mean like he would get the half gallon, you know, because we lived on the base and like the BX had all kinds of liquor in there, man. So like, but yeah, we lived on the third floor of the dorm, and he would want to go out and smoke like every like fucking 5 minutes, man. It was
Oh,
crazy.
Jesus.
Right, like as soon as we got started drinking, man, he'd want to go out and smoke at least every like 10 minutes or so. It was nuts.
Like, but the thing is, though, you know, I think the fucking funniest thing I ever. Oh man. So there's a thing. It's a great morale builder. If you're, unless you're like a fitness god, like you just work the fuck out every day. That's all you fucking do. Or you're trained to be like the world's strongest man. There's some days where you just don't want to do you just don't want to do physical exercise.
We didn't even have on my team in my unit. We didn't even do regular PT because our hours were too long.
So we had this thing in the Army. I don't know if it's the same in the Air Force and Marine Corps. It's called Zonk. So like you're all formed up for morning PT, whatever. First sergeant comes out, and he just comes out. We're all standing there, and he's like, "Well, it's cold as shit. So we can either do PT or we can," and we're sitting there, and he's like doing that. Well, we can, and we're reading his body language, like we know what words coming out of his mouth. And as soon as he says zonk, you gotta remember, the company was formed up. The platoons were formed. It was organized. As soon as Zonk left his lips, it looked like a rush for Black Friday. We were rushing to get back into the fucking barracks.
Give me one
'Cause I don't know,
second
it's
again.
just yeah. As soon as Zonk is initiated, you haul ass. You get the fuck out of there. Because if you just start walking, the first time it's gonna be like, oh, so y'all want to do PT then? Oh, so y'all do want to do some exercise?
I
No.
hated PT at Beale, man. It was a little shitty base in the middle of nowhere, north of Sacramento, at DGS2, and we had to run on the fucking flight line. We didn't even have a track. It was just asphalt. It's terrible for your knees, man. And now that's part of my disability rating, by the way. I already have arthritis in both my knees.
Smoking?
What do you mean? Yes, I am smoking tonight. Yeah, just weed. No, it's okay. I think he might have gone away from the microphone for a second. I don't know. I was gonna say, as far as PT goes, like we had to run the flight line. But I was gonna say too, another thing is bad for morale. Anything paperwork related, and you know how that goes. Like there was a time when I got to my first duty station where whoever the fuck was in charge of my security clearance investigation at the FBI was totally taking their fucking sweet ass time. I still don't know what happened to this day exactly, but there was a point where because I had to have a TSSCI clearance to even get into my own unit's facility at the top floor and the third floor. In my the third floor of my building where I worked was a skiff, so you had to have TSSCI to even get in there in the first place. Even go in the door to talk to the first sergeant or the commander or anybody you had to talk to. So there was a staff sergeant that was apparently in charge of watching over me while I was in the unit below me, who on the second floor where you only had to have secret clearance. So I just go to her, and this unit I was stuck with for months was called the 9th IS, and they were literally using like light tables, like film, old film with light tables on it. And I'm like, and they there was maybe like 20 people in the whole unit, and they didn't do jack shit like all day. Like I was doing my CDCs all day, and everybody was just like walking around drinking coffee and like sitting at a desk and doing jack shit. I still don't know what they did all day, but apparently they would take a look at a light table once in a while, like maybe once a week somebody would do that, and then for the rest of the day they were just pretty much fucking around. And I had no idea what was going on, so I just got so frustrated. I went to this lady who was like an E5, and I'm like, "Can you talk to my commander or the first sergeant up there and ask him what the fuck is going on?" I was like, I was trying to be like polite as and respectful as I could. I basically was like, "You guys don't do anything all day. What do you do here? What the fuck do you do here? You know, you guys don't do anything all day." And so they finally looked into it, and they said the FBI hadn't finished like the interviews with like family members and stuff like that. So then a few weeks later, I hear about the FBI went around to my parents' house, in my aunt and uncle's house, my grandparents, like teachers that I went to school with, like stuff like that. And then it finally got done, and that's when I had to start working those long ass shifts. After that, I finally get to my own unit.
Oh yeah.
So like paperwork in the military just literally takes forever.
You want to know what a really real fucking morale lower is freaking SIF gear. Having to turn your shit in, all your gear that you're issued that you have to turn back in. Dealing with that is like the worst headache ever. You get a specific type of bag. You get so much stuff that you have to turn back in when you check out. And if you don't have it, you owe them money. And it's like, they will dock your pay until they are fully paid back. It's ridiculous.
Most major morale killer ever.
I've heard horror stories when it comes to turning shit back into SIF. I mean, I don't know what other branches call SIF gear, but...
CIF.
It's the issued...
Central I can't even speak English.
Yeah, I don't know.
Central
CIF.
Issuing Facility. Yeah, CIF.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that one civilian chick. We call her CIF Karen.
A SIF? Does Air Force have CIF?
What's that?
Does the Air Force have CIF? Do they even have that? You go there and it's just, here's a chair. You're issued a chair.
I mean, we had some furniture when I moved into the dorm. You had like, it was a chair in there and a bed and all that, and like a desk and stuff like that. I don't think we had to go in there and like requisition anything or anything like that.
Well, no, I meant like gear, like your.
No, there was some shit already in there when I moved in. I'm pretty sure.
What about like your issued gear, like backpacks and mop gear and?
Yeah, we got all that shit when I was in basic training.
You got to keep it all?
Like field jackets, stuff like that. Yeah, we got it all. We got our blues, our dress uniform, everything, all our uniforms issued.
Well, uniforms, yeah, but I meant like your Kevlar, you know, the stuff that they want you to turn back in.
I mean, I never got deployed, so they never issued me body armor or a weapon or anything like that. So I mean, most of the stuff that I got, like I said, I got basic training, and I just kept on me when I go into tech school and then on to my first duty station. So.
Damn.
Interesting. It's so crazy to learn how like
the most heavy duty thing I ever got was like a Gore-Tex field jacket.
Did you have to turn that back in?
No. Well, yeah. Once I got out, yeah, I turned it in with all my uniforms and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to keep our personally issued uniforms, stuff that was fitted to us or had our name sewn on it. We got to keep all that. But like gas mask.
No, I got out in 08. They ordered all that shit back, so
all that got turned back in. I mean, if you had one of those
like my ACUs.
A poncho, you had to like turn your poncho back in.
Yeah, like I had like
everything.
We didn't even use a poncho because the Gore-Tex is waterproof, so it had a big hood on it.
Yeah, I don't even know what's issued these days. And they keep changing up the freaking type of pack that you get. Like, it was the Alice pack since, like, Vietnam. And then it was something else. And then it was, like, the Alice pack and the Molly pack. And then now it's something else. It's like, all
And now
within,
it's a
like, a
Transformer.
10-year span. What?
Said you have Alice, Molly, and Decepticon. I think it's a Decepticon. I'm not. That
What,
fucking
and
thing transforms.
There's the Sally pack. There's the Molly
Molly
pack.
just makes it sound like you're taking ecstasy or something. Like,
Right?
Well, yeah, it's like MOLL, like Destiny or something like that.
but why is it Molly if it's not? Why is it Molly instead of Mike though? Why do they call it a Mike
I don't-
pack instead of Molly?
They just turn into a word.
That's true. We do have an acronym for fucking everything in the military. That's true.
Like,
Like how
I mean, even
when-
like the Marine Corps Digital is called MARPAT, which is short for Marine Pattern.
Like, it's funny. Like, some civilians don't even know what the word acronym fucking means. That's what's funny.
No.
Like, you
No.
get used to it. Like,
So another morale booster was when we used to fuck with the new guys. So you'd be like, hey, can you go to battalion and get me an ID 10T form? Or a box of BA 1100 Novembers?
See, those are bonding exercises, which
So
boost
good.
morale.
a big thing they drilled into us in basic training from the start was do not get into a fucking fight and do not fucking argue with each other. Basically, like, because you get
this
into
is
like.
why the Air Force is considered the wussies of the branches.
Well, I mean, it's
Because
it's a
they
good
drill
idea.
that into your
I
head.
mean, yeah. But it's
If
not
anything,
like
in the Marine Corps, it's
dude,
almost encouraged.
I'm not gonna sit here like I. It's not like I didn't feel like punching a couple guys in the face once in a while, but I knew if I was gonna do it, I was gonna get in fucking trouble. I'd get discharged and go to the fucking brig, probably get prosecuted. So I didn't do it.
I mean,
Everybody
our drill instructors, they told us, don't be fighting your brothers and sisters in arms. But then, the moment you did something stupid, they'd put you in the gear locker and
or in the
rough you up
fucking
a
brig
bit.
or whatever they call it. Yeah.
Well, no, the gear locker, they'd put you somewhere where no one else could see you, and they would basically rough you up a little bit.
Dude, they straight told us we'd prosecute us under the UCMJ if we fucking hit somebody.
Nah, Army
Any
and
branch
Marines.
could. Any
a little
branch
different.
absolutely could.
I
I
mean,
think
they
it's
could
just
if they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, even in the Marine Corps,
honestly-
if you were to just randomly punch somebody, then they would probably go
Bro,
after you too.
if I
It
had a
depends on the
dollar
situation.
If I had a dollar for every time I was threatened with UCMJ, I'd be a rich man.
Yeah.
I was not a
same.
good soldier. I did my
What
job
are you
well.
talking about? You look at Chesty
my job
Puller.
well, too.
one of the-
I
considerably
worked
the
so.
most notorious Marine in the Marine Corps history is Chesty Puller, and that guy, one of his famous quotes is, "All your best Marines are going to be in the brig."
Dude, I
he
loved
was
the
walking
fucking
around-
I loved the Pacific. That was such a great fucking show, man. That was a great series.
I literally.
Chesty Puller was.
Chesty was on that fucking shit, and he was awesome. His men
Well, I mean,
fucking loved him.
Chesty
have this-
Puller is an icon in the Marine Corps. Every single Marine Corps
I'm
birthday,
well
Paul's
aware
a
of that.
big
He
thing.
was a
They
great
read his
commander.
speech
Yeah.
every year. I mean,
His
he's
unit
not
had a
just some
hard fucking
famous,
job to do, and he fucking did it.
Yeah, I mean, but he'll be the first one to tell you that the Marines that you can trust are the ones in the brig.
Yeah.
They're. So I mean, they're coming from somebody like Chesty Puller for saying something like that. It kind of brings the stigma along with it that like fighting and being bad and not following the rules is kind of part of the territory with the Marine Corps brand. Is that
Sometimes it's
Yeah,
you're
it's part
tough
of
at
the
your
culture.
job. You're
Yeah.
tough with
Yeah,
each other.
part
You're
of
gonna make mistakes.
Every branch has its culture, and fucking staying out of trouble was part of the culture in the fucking Air Force.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I mean,
we-
in the Marine
so-
Corps, they definitely tried to tell you, like, don't do something too stupid, because we do need
So I've
numbers
heard-
when it comes to fighting a war, but,
Yeah.
it's...
So I've heard 3 things from 3 different branches. So the Air Force definitely, shit happens. They don't really like to throw, it's not as prevalent in the Air Force. But in the Navy, Marine Corps, and Army, So I've heard stories of dudes having beef, and they have this thing on the ship called the fan room, where it's just like all the fans and shit, like it's really fucking loud, and they'll go in there, lock it up, like their chief will just put them in there and fucking they'll start fighting.
See, the closest thing I had to that was I had a beef with an E6 because he was my supervisor and I was an E4, and he would like every time somebody had to take the trash out, he'd be like, "Merle, I'll go take the trash out." Every fucking day, or any kind of bitch work he could possibly stick me with, he would do it. And we're already working 18-hour shifts, right? So I finally got tired of it. And I went to the first sergeant and I told her about it. And she was like, okay, we'll keep you to this other guy. She gave me to this other guy who was an E5. That's basically, I mean, that's all I had to do was go to the first sergeant. And she knew anyway.
That man was a savage. Learned a lot of good ones. I mean, fuck, Audie Murphy lied about his age to go fight in fucking World War II. That motherfucker joined when he was like, what, 15?
A lot of guys lied about their age back then.
Oh, fuck
back
yeah.
then it was a lot easier to. It was a lot easier to back then.
It's not as bad as what the Germans did, though, back then. The Germans had little kids fighting that were like 10, 15 years old in between, you know? It was terrible.
Oh, yeah, towards the end, yeah.
Yeah, especially once we crossed the border over into Germany, they had little kids fighting. They were like 10, 15 years old.
Kindernazis.
It was terrible. Well, they were, but it's not like they probably made those kids like. I mean, I know like they literally would like hang little kids if they wouldn't go and fight back then. So that's how bad it was. You ever see that? Did you ever see that movie Fury with Brad Pitt? I mean, some of the parts were like, you know, it was kind of it was a little over the top in some parts of the movie, but I thought that it was okay. So not bad for like a tank movie, you know.
See that movie, you know, well, talking about kids and stuff like during World War II. My grandfather was born and raised in Poland, and he was born in 1934, so he was.
Wow. Okay.
You know, he was a kid in Poland.
He was a little boy when the fucking Blitzkrieg happened. Yeah.
Yeah, but he used to help run letters between the Allied forces, you know, and he's just this little Polish kid that didn't speak any English or anything, and you know, so they didn't expect him to like talk to, you know, being able to go up to the Americans and express or get, you know, do anything with them. He did know some English because his mom had taught him some, and his dad had known English. His dad fought in the Polish army, you know, when he was younger. And so he used to run letters between the Allied forces, between the British and the Americans and stuff. And at one point, he was almost caught, and they were shooting along. The Nazis were shooting along like the ridge line that he was walking along. And when they started shooting, he went down off the side of the ridge so he wouldn't get shot, and one ricocheted up into the back of his leg. A bullet ricocheted up into the back of his leg. So he's got like a bullet hole scar on the back of his leg, and he's still alive. He's still kicking. Like this guy has been. He has seen so many things and so much like disaster and war and just moral pain everywhere he's been, you know, and he's still alive and kicking. That guy is the reason I joined the military to begin with. So
dude is still kicking.
Yeah, that whole time period while World War II was happening was probably the craziest time on the history of the planet Earth, right there.
All right.
I think, yeah. I really hope something like that bad never ever happens again.
Honestly, I hope not either, but at the same time,
the Russians are worrying me right now. Like, fuck.
See, I don't think that Russia's gonna do anything to the United States.
Well, he just conscripted 300,000 guys, though, didn't he? Like, holy fuck, that's crazy.
The only way that Russia would get involved in any sort of conflict with the United States is if we insert ourselves into that situation.
Well, I mean, I know that. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, when I was in training, I mean, we were looking at everything that we were looking at was fucking Russian. T-38s, the shit that they used from Afghanistan in the 80s, MiG-29s, their artillery.
There's a reason for that. There's a reason why they were. Educating
because
you on them.
Yeah. Right, because they're our biggest threat, and they're still using the shit that they were using 30 years ago.
they're not necessarily our biggest threat. They're our most equal threat.
Exactly. Yeah. When they have nuclear capabilities,
I don't want
like
to
we
say
do
that
too.
they're our biggest threat right now because I don't think that Putin would come after America. I don't think that he would initiate.
No, he wouldn't have the balls to do that.
It's not even that he has the balls to it. It's that he
The rest of
knows
the rest of the
he knows
world
that
would
he
turn on
doesn't
him
have
so
a
quickly it would
100%
be
chance
fucking
of
World
winning.
War III basically, and everybody would turn against him.
Right, but the thing,
Like
well,
the whole of Europe would go to war against him if he tried to attack us. It would happen.
well, the entire UN would.
Exactly. The whole UN Security Council, everybody on there would. It would be craziness. They'd have no chance if they even tried.
No, not at
It
all.
would be a shit show to get them to probably surrender or whatever, probably, but it would still. They still wouldn't have a chance.
I don't think that Putin would get himself involved with something unless he thought that he would come out the victor. So
Hey,
I don't
well,
think that
I
he would directly
I
come
just-
after America.
I don't understand what he thinks he's about. I don't know. I'm not understanding what he thinks his next move is. He's going to try to do like a troop surge and just invade the whole country, but like marching mile by mile, or I don't know what he thinks he's about to do with 300,000 guys.
It could just be a show of force. He might not have any plans with them other than just to intimidate. I mean, but that's a military pastime. We do the same thing. We do the same thing with parades and anything to do with pomp and circumstance. We always have that nature to show off and be flamboyant with our power. Look what we can do, and it's an effective measure to keep other forces at bay.
Well, but I mean, he's not like other dictators though, where like in North Korea, they're mostly just showing off because they never use their military to do anything but have like parades and shit.
See,
Like
North Korea,
whereas he is literally just conscripted 300,000 men. So I really don't think he's the kind of guy that would do something like that if he didn't have plans to use them. You know what I mean? And that's what I think is scary.
maybe. I mean, I'm so mad that like Twitch deleted our videos because we had the very first Status Quo episode that we did was about the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and it was because we used to do it on Thursdays, and it was the first Thursday. It was literally like 2 or 3 days after Russia invaded Ukraine. So it was like right in the thick of everything when everything was still confusing. Nobody really knew what the crap was going on or why. And, so that was our very first episode. And that's what prompted us to start this was, affects, things going on around the world that can affect us, especially people who are veterans, but they're still under their IRR contract. What does this mean for them? Because if we're going to war, there's a big chance that they're going to be recalled because our active duty forces do not match Russia's at all. They do not. We just it's plain as we just do not have the same amount of people. Russia is a gigantic country. It's absolutely huge. And I want to say that they have it's required by law that all men serve in their military for at least like 2 years.
I don't think it is. I don't think it's like Israel or anything like that. But I think it's
Are you
just
sure?
like
I thought it was.
I'm not sure. Well, if that were true, I don't think he would have to be doing conscription like this because they'd already have the manpower for it. If it was every man that had to serve for like a certain period of time. I think if that were the case, they would have had the manpower for that already.
I'll do some digging. I've got
Because
some
how many
people that
people live there?
in the
Like
area.
800 million, something like that. I don't know.
I have family that lives in the Ukraine, and I have family that lives in Russia. Well, friends of family that live in Russia. They're like family to me.
I mean, do they have more people than the United States or no? Because we have like 330 million people here, something like that. And then how many do they have? I don't know.
You mean total population?
Yeah.
Let me see. $144.37 million.
Okay, so they have less than half the population of the United States then.
Okay, but let me see. Jesus. Okay, so the United States military has just almost 9,000 tanks in our fleet.
What's that? 9,000 tanks? You said?
Just under 9,000 tanks in our entire military force.
Those are all
Russia
M1
has
Abrams
over
too.
20. Russia has almost 23,000.
Yeah, but how many of those are the old shit that they've been using since the 80s though? Like T-30, like C
I don't.
T60s
This is
and
just
shit like that.
basic statistics. Let's see.
I bet most of the shit they have is back from when they tried to invade Afghanistan for the first time. That's why the stuff we're giving the Ukrainians, they're tearing their tanks in half with those fucking javelins. We keep sending them javelins, and they're hitting their tanks just from 200 yards off with the fucking javelin.
Got it right here. Okay, so military service age and obligation for Russia: 18 to 27 years old for compulsory or voluntary military service. Males are registered for the draft at 17. Service obligation is 1 year. Reserve obligation.
So it's compulsory service for 1 year.
They're registered for the draft at 17. Service obligation of 1 year. But if they choose, if they're drafted, they have to serve at least 1 year.
Okay, so it's kind of like here in the States. Everybody's drafted at a certain age once you turn 18. And then you're obligated to serve for a certain time, but you're probably not going to get called up. But the thing is, he's calling them up though.
Reserve obligation to age 50. Enrollment in military schools from age of 16. Cadets in the military schools are classified as members of the armed forces.
Like, I would say if the U.S. ever tried to use the draft again, there would be a big protest, like 1960 style. I'm pretty sure. And everybody would be like, "Fuck that," especially Gen Z. Yeah.
When it comes to the Navy warships, they have 35 times more than the U.S.
Yeah, it's probably mostly destroyers.
Submarines, they have quite a bit more than the military. They have 9 times more.
Those things are very old, though. By the way. Oh, everything they had. I mean, they can have numbers as much as they want. The thing about when people talk about Russians having superior numbers when it comes to equipment, everything they have is fucking old as shit. Everything. They can't afford to replace it, or even retrofit most of it. So it's like, I mean, yeah, they might have a few more submarines than we do. But everything that we have in our subs is modern day equipment, and all the shit they have is old as fuck. So we could probably hit them with a few torpedoes, and they wouldn't even know we were there.
Okay, so the United States has 1.3 million active duty personnel, while Russia has 46 million.
40 what?
46 million. They have about 40 times more military than we do. But that means that
they know that if we did the draft like we did in World War II, they'd have no chance in hell. And they know that's exactly what we would do if they tried to start fucking World War III. They know that.
No, I completely get that. I get that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's almost a third of their population is military. 46 million people out of 145 million citizens.
Well, apparently they're not very well trained because the Ukrainians have been beating the shit out of them for months now. Like, how many men have they lost already? Like, probably 20,000, something like that.
See, I don't know. I don't know if I trust what
they've taken a lot. They've taken tens of thousands of KIAs already. It's crazy.
Because I have over there, including the Ukrainian side, people that I know.
Like tens of thousands of KIAs.
Let's see. It's saying about 60,000 Russian troops have died in Ukraine.
Holy shit. 2 numbers right there. That's crazy.
Right, but at the same time, the people that I know that live in the Ukraine are saying that the media, that it's what our news is saying, to make a show of it.
A third of that. I mean, still a lot of KIAs. That's a lot.
Well, according to the Ukrainian people, that Russia's actually doing a lot more damage than what the media is being led on to say.
I wouldn't be surprised that both sides are trying to downplay their losses at this point. But I mean,
well, no, my Ukrainian ass right now.
Well, they do have the superior numbers, but I mean, we do know the Ukrainians are fighting back as hard as they can. So they're getting a lot of equipment from other countries, that's for sure. Like if we as many javelin as we possibly could, right? Because the Russians are trying to go after them with like as many tanks as they can. The Ukrainians can't match, which the Ukrainians can't possibly match that many tanks. So that's why they're going after them with javelins. You know, sitting in a wheat field or whatever is, you know, petting them is those javelins they have. You know, one use and they're done, or is there multiple in that thing? I can't remember. I've seen them where if you use one and done, you load another round into it after it's done one already. It's just a big, you know, tube. You know, but the round is like, you know.
Yeah, see, this is from the UN. This is the UN news website right here. Ukraine, more than 15,000 casualties, but actual numbers are likely considerably higher. Like, even the UN's like, whatever numbers they're giving you, they're probably wrong. Is my phone going off? What is going on here? Oh, it is going off. Oh well. I mean, I think that a lot is being fudged and smudged to portray whatever they're trying to portray. I mean, I'm trying to get as much information about both sides as possible. You know, a lot of my information that I'm getting is from the people who live there, you know, and the web and not the websites, but the articles and stuff that are coming out in their local areas that have a little bit more of an understanding of really what kind of casualties and stuff are happening, because these men that are being hurt or wounded or killed or whatever are coming through their hospitals and coming through their morgues and stuff. So, you know, they're able to count a little bit easier than a journalist that is in an airport, you know, in the next country over. So, I mean, I take a lot of American media with a grain of salt. Honestly, though, it really
I don't even watch. I don't even
but...
really watch it.
What?
I don't even really watch major news networks.
I don't either. I mean,
it's just a bunch of talking heads 24/7, and it's fucking annoying.
Oh yeah, they're trying to portray whatever agenda that they're trying to portray, and that's both sides. That's both the left and the right. And so when it comes, as long as it doesn't affect, war is not a necessity, but it is a thing that happens. You just can't avoid it. Like, there's going to be war till the end of time, but when that comes and affects me and my livelihood and my children and my home, until then, there's really not much I can do about it. So I'm just not, I don't want to say I don't want to care, but I'm not going to stress my life and stress myself out more for something that is obviously going to happen no matter what. Now, when it comes to my doorstep, then obviously, then I'll start paying attention. But as of right now, there's not much I can do. I think that impending doom. I think that, impending doom of the loom of war hanging over everybody's heads, I think that definitely affects morale. I think it makes people want to train harder. If we have to do this, I want to make sure I come out alive, so I'm going to pay attention more. I'm going to learn these things more. I'm going to practice more. I'm going to do this over and over and over until I can do it without thinking about it. Becomes muscle memory on the steps I need to take to unjam my weapon, or, how to roll around to get behind a corner if I'm being fired at, stuff like that. People, they want to come out alive, so they're going to train harder. And when they feel confident that they know what they're doing, it boosts the morale, which we were actually talking about before you joined. If you go into the Discord, into the links channel, the first one that I posted, the opinion piece from Army.mil. If you
have you tried putting your mic on push to talk? Because then I think you would have better luck not cutting out so much if you did that.
Oh, I think it's just I'm not close enough to it.
Okay.
It could be my sensitivity too. Hold on, I could.
Yeah, it's because sometimes you're cutting out. I just want everybody to be able to hear what you're saying.
Be better now. I have to keep turning it down because he keeps screaming. Okay, so that first one, and yeah, I mean he's okay right now, so maybe he screamed himself to sleep. I don't know.
Okay. I'm gonna make another drink real quick. I'll be right back.
Sure. Let me pull up that article, and when you get back, I'll read you the quote that stuck out to me. That is the best. That is just the best emote ever. Yes. Everybody can have that one if you subscribe to my channel. That one too. I'm going to use that one too.
Cheers.
Cheers to another week of conversation. All right. So that quote I was talking about. Congress and military leadership have gone all in on the idea that comfort and happiness equals morale, and that morale correlates to readiness, when in fact they got it backwards. Providing the resources and time to effectively accomplish the mission is what lifts the spirits of the troops. And that's what I was just kind of going into, that,
it was,
idea. I mean, obviously
I feel that
military,
because I had so many times where I was working a long ass shift, like 18s, 4 days straight, but we were looking for IEDs, so we had so many images we had to go through in a certain amount of time. There were times where it was hurry up and wait for 2 hours until some shit came over the satellite, and then we had some shit to do. But then once we did have some shit to do, it was the serious time crunch, the biggest time crunch you've ever been through. It was so stressful. So it was either you're stressed the fuck out trying to get shit done, or it's hurry up and wait, one or the other. It was either one extreme or the other every fucking day.
Yeah, I mean, my job, I was in a temperature controlled, we were nowhere near any front lines or anything.
What was funny about temperature controlled? We had to keep our shit. We had a bunch of servers inside it was like a deployable ground station. We had a bunch of servers in there. So we had to keep the place at 50 degrees in there. So that's one of the reasons why we had those Gore-Tex field jackets, because we would wear those inside the facility because it was so cold in there, because we had to keep the servers cool.
I swear.
So it would be 50 degrees in there. We'd be in our field jackets, and then it would be July. Then we'd take those off, go outside and have a smoke break or whatever, and then go back inside and put them back on.
Yep.
like 2 packs a day and like a case of Red Bull every day. Fucking shit.
Seriously, okay, so my morning routine, I would go down to the gas station, or no, I would go to the gym, and then I would shower, and then I would head over to the base gas station. I would pick up a 20-ounce can of Red Bull, like 3 Slim Jims, and the little taquito things that were on the rollers, the little cheese. I would get the jalapeno cream cheese ones. And that would literally be like my breakfast.
Oh man, we had a Burger King on my base, so I used to eat so much fucking Burger King because like the only time I would go to the mess hall was like on my days off, because of course we could eat for free there, but like, and they had pretty good decent food, but like on our days when we were working, we didn't have time to eat very much, so. Because we had so many images to do, so like we would just send one person over to Burger King to get something for like everybody. There was probably like 10 people on my team, I think. So we would just send one person over to Burger King. We'd just give them cash and just send them over to Burger King to get something for everybody, like every day. So I must have had like 10,000 double Whoppers in like a 4-year period.
That's funny. I mean, if we could, depending on who was running the chow hall, we would be able to just send one person with everybody's chow hall card and go get food for everybody. It depends on who was in charge of the chow hall that day. Some people were like, no, the person needs to be here. And it's like...
It was just faster to go send everybody to Burger King and Mike Place, because you just get everything to go. And you wouldn't even have to worry about getting a container for everybody inside the chow hall and having them wait to put everything in the container and all that shit,
The chow hall on our base, they had the sit-down side of the chow hall, and then they had the prepackaged area. So you got a lot of the same stuff, but it was like wrapped up and then put in a box, and it was labeled on the side, and you literally just ran and picked them up, and you wrote your card, your name, your number on the, the sheet, your chow card number on the sheet, and then you left with it. Depending on who was running it, they would be like, oh, if you have all the numbers here, I mean, they're, you just write their number down and then take however many boxes and go. Like, they would just go to the to-go side, but some of them were like, no. It's like,
I don't think anything. Ours was pretty small because it was a pretty small base, not a whole lot of people, only a few hundred people, I think. So, like, I don't think anything was self-serving there except, like, the salad bar or whatever while you're going through the line. So we had to, like, go through and get everything portioned out by hand by the people, by the other airmen that were working in there, So it was just faster for somebody to go to Burger King and just get like 10 double Whoppers with cheese and like 10 sides of fries and come back.
Yeah. Let me check on JB real quick. Or, I'm sorry. The Giggling Infidel.
No, that's okay.
Let's see if he's coming back or not, because he just kind of dipped. He was just like...
Right, is he good, or...
I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, something came up at the house that he had to go take care of. He was worried that, they were going to come and bug him for something, so... But if he doesn't respond here soon, we might cut tonight short, because a lot of people were not able to make it tonight. And when there's not as many people involved, the conversation goes a lot quicker.
How many people were you planning on having tonight?
Well, okay, so... She-Devil.
Like, I didn't even... I fucking forgot until I saw you guys were live, and I'm like, oh shit, I should have been on for they've been on for a while.
Hey, you know what? I mean, we've had, some of our OGs, they'll be like, oh, well, I'll join when I can, and they literally join for the last 10 minutes. They give their, 5-minute spiel, and then, we wrap it up. But, I mean, it happens. It's just, life always will come first. But having, multitude of opinions on these conversations is definitely... It makes the conversation flow a lot easier, I think.
Yeah, different points of view makes things interesting. Yeah. Because even though we all served, we all have our own different experiences that we can, throw about and talk about and stuff. So we all had different shit that we had to deal with. So.
Yeah. I mean, we're not cutting it at like too short. Normally at the 8 o'clock mark or whatever, or the hour and a half mark is when we turn it into just kind of like a goof off and just kind of settle down for the last half an hour or so and just bullshit around. And we're only 8 minutes from that time anyway, so it's not like we're missing. Nobody's, you know, the conversation still lasted an hour and a half. My cup is like sticky, and I'm not okay with that. That's gross.
They were out of Absolute Citron, so I got Svedka Citrus. It's pretty good too.
More vodka?
Yes, I don't know. I feel like vodka makes me happy and whiskey makes me angry, so I don't know.
See, I'm
Maybe
the
it's just
other way.
maybe
I'm
it's
the
just in my
other way.
head. Like, well, I looked it
Whiskey
up
makes
last.
me happy.
I looked it up last night, and I'm like, but Google says like it's kind of like a placebo effect. If you think in your head like something's gonna make you angry, then it's probably gonna make you angry. It's like a.
Well, vodka
So
makes my stomach angry.
Well,
And
see,
not
it doesn't.
like bubble
It
guts,
doesn't
but
bother
like-
me. Like I drank like most of a bottle yesterday, and I didn't even have a hangover when I woke up this morning. Not even. I wasn't nauseous. I didn't have a headache. Nothing. I felt like I was still kind of a little drunk when I woke up this morning, and that was like 8 hours later. Like I
Like
literally had a good
whiskey,
night's sleep, and I woke.
I associate the way alcohol makes me feel based on the memories that were made while drinking it. So like I don't like tequila because every time I've had tequila, something bad really happens, and it's just like I don't like.
I've been drinking citrus flavored vodka and raspberry lemonade,
mixed
like
with
the
anything?
Simply Raspberry Lemonade. So it's like you're drinking Kool-Aid or something, basically. You know.
Is that what you have mixed with it? Is the Simply?
Yeah.
I was gonna
Simply
ask if you had
Raspberry
mixed with
Lemonade.
it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I have
you
vodka,
get a
but
gallon
the
of it at
only-
Walgreens for like $5. I was like, I just went down. I just walked over to the Walgreens a minute ago and got some because it's like a block down the street.
Like I have vodka here, but the only
So-
mixture I have
Yeah.
is Country Time lemonade
So
mix.
I don't know if you've ever been to Denver or if anybody's who's
I've been to the
watching
airport.
has been to Denver before, but like there's a street called Colfax in Denver. It's like it's one of the longest east to west streets in the United States. So it's like a really busy street, just all around town. But like when you get up to like really East Colfax, there's like hookers out there and like really cheap ass hotels and stuff out there. It's like if you ride the bus on Colfax, like be prepared to see some shit. Like I've seen two crackheads arguing on the bus, like
So that's
on
like
the road
Sunset
down
Boulevard out
Colfax,
here.
stuff like that. Yeah, it's like the craziest street in town, basically, but it still has like everything you need. If you just like go up and down it somewhere, there's like all kinds of shops and whatever, but it's like seriously the craziest street in town.
Yeah, it sounds like Sunset Boulevard here in Hollywood. At one
Yeah,
end
that's
you
probably
have, like,
the Denver equivalent. Either that or the 16th Street Mall. It's like I've thought about doing like one time I don't know if you guys know who Josh Wolf is, like the comedian.
yeah.
He's a funny guy. I've every now and then he'll do something live on like Facebook and take a few people on. I was on there one time with him for a few minutes, and he was telling me, man, you should go out and do like open mic or something one night. And I'm like, dude, I've thought about it so many times because people tell me I have a good sense of humor and shit like that, you know. And I got a lot of fucked up stories that I can try to tell to like try to make people laugh. And so like there was this time I was out on 16th Street Mall, so like it's just this big outdoor mall, right? And I'm trying to think of a joke that I could tell in like a couple of minutes if I got some time, just to do like 5 or whatever, like at the Comedy Store or whatever, something like that in Denver. I don't know where I would go, but like it's, you know, we don't have any sanitariums in this country anymore. Like all the mentally ill people just end up homeless on the street, right? So it's just like,
Okay, give me a minute, Max.
over on 16th Street Mall, like after dark, you see a bunch of cops out there. There'll be like 5 at a time, just standing every couple of blocks or so. and then you'll see why after later. Because I was walking by the Foot Locker one time, and this guy walks up to me. He's like maybe like 5'6", old black dude walks up to me. He's probably like 50, 60, 70 years old, and he's like, "Hey man, hey man, hey man." Yeah.
Back up. I want a piece.
I'm going upstairs.
No, you're not
Yeah.
gonna bring this upstairs.
I'm trying to play a game and not turn it off.
No, I want.
Hey buddy. Hey,
I'm going upstairs.
it's the little man.
Upstairs.
Yeah.
He done took the deli meat out of the fridge and was like,
yeah.
I got dinner.
Hey mom, you want some ham? All right, cool. All right.
I'm going upstairs.
It's honey ham.
That's
It's good.
that's sweet. That's sweet. He's a sweetie. Okay. So yeah, so I'm walking by this Foot Locker on the 16th Street Mall, right? And this old black guy is probably like 5'5", walks up to me. You know, I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but I'm 5'11", so I'm taller than most people, right? So I'm looking down at him, right? And he's like, "Hey man, it's Nike Town." and I'm like looking around me like, is this guy talking to me? What the fuck is going on? Because there's people all around, and I'm like, I wasn't even sure if he was talking to me. And then he says it again, looking me right in the eyes, and he goes, "Hey man, it's Nike Town."
Wow.
And I'm like, "Hey man, we're in Denver right now. Nike is a brand of shoes." And he just looks at me like and he just looks at me like I just shattered his whole reality, like.
It's because you were outside of Foot Locker.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? And I just kept walking after that. I didn't even know what to say after that. It's just that look on his face, like.
The crazy people on the street are my favorite. They're the
Oh,
reason I go
man.
to Hollywood, and they're the reason I stay away from Hollywood.
Well, it's like it's either they're peaceful or they want to fucking fight. Because one time, there was another fucking. Why are they fucking always old and drunk? They're old and drunk and short.
Or high.
Every
or high or
yeah,
something.
they're all. That's the one thing they have in common. Every grown man that's ever tried to get with me physically over the past 10-year period, and like I said, I used to be homeless on the street for like an 18-month period, so I had to fight a few times. Like they were always old, drunk, and short. Every fucking time.
And they're talking to you, but they're like looking over here. Yeah.
Yeah. And so one time,
that makes me
and
sad.
so one time, it really is fucking sad. It really is. But what am I gonna do? Like, I gotta defend myself, right? So like 3 or 4 times, I was standing in line at the mission just for a place to sleep at night in the winter or whatever. This old drunk guy would come and try to like cut in front of me in line, like push me out of line, and I fucking punched him in the face twice, and he's like out on the fucking ground. Cause he's like 60 years old, and he's like 5'5", and I turning sidekicked the guy one time, and then I punched him. They fucking called an ambulance later.
Wow.
I was like, dude, and then like there was one time when a guy was about to start something, and then I hear this voice from like way down the line, like, "Hey man, don't fuck with him. He been staying here for a while." I saw him fuck a dude up. And then that guy just went back to the fucking line, to the back of the line.
Like, I've seen some crazy bum fights that was not
I was like the
on
youngest guy
usual
there
bum
for like
fights.
forever.
Yeah,
And I was
because
only like 30
downtown
years
LA
old.
Downtown LA, there's obviously quite a lot of homeless people, walking the streets and stuff. But
Denver's like that
certain
too,
areas
yeah.
Are just, certain areas are just absolutely, they're just dangerous just to be in the vicinity because they're swinging so fast at each other that you get caught up in the crossfire.
Yeah, like I was going to say, one time I was riding on the bus, and it was the fucking Colfax route, right? It's either the 15 or the 15L route. The 15L route only stops like every 4 or 5 blocks or whatever. The 15 stops like every block, and it fucking takes forever. So people try to find out they want it because it goes down the street like every 15 minutes. There's a fucking bus that comes by. So Like one time, this guy, another 60-something-year-old guy, at like 5 foot something, drunk, tries to take my phone from me, and I'm like at the front of the bus, so it was like right next to the center console where the bus driver's sitting, and I front kicked him with my right leg too, which is my breaking leg, which I fucking have put boards through at tournaments.
Right.
And he goes flying. I kicked him square in the chest, and he goes flying into the fucking center console. They kicked me off the bus after that.
I would imagine so.
Well, they kicked him off the bus too, but the driver's like, "Man, you got to get off." Like he didn't touch me or whatever. And he was like, "Man, you got to get off." I'm like, "All right." I was like, "You better be kicking this fucking guy off too, right?" And he was like, "Yeah." I don't call the cops in a second. I'm just like, "Just go." And I'm like, "Okay, man, okay." Like you saw me. He tried to touch me, man.
When I was 17, I was in San Francisco. I was in San Francisco when I was 17, and I got in the crossfire of a lady having a fight with herself. She was one of those crazies that was just standing on the sidewalk and like yelling at nobody. And I walked by, and it sounded like she was trying to talk to me, but I turned around and she was like still talking to like nothing. And then like we kept walking, and I felt something hit my back. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I took my jacket off, and this bitch had fucking hawked a loogie. I was like, oh god, like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna get hep C. I'm gonna fucking die. Like, this was literally like a month before I shipped out to boot camp. So I already had my ship date, and I'm like, they're gonna disqualify me because this lady spit on me in the middle of San Francisco. Like, I was not okay for the rest of the trip. And like, thankfully, because back then, I mean, my hair was like shorter. It was like, you know, to my shoulders, actually a little bit shorter. But if I had just like put my head back, my hair would have touched it. So I'm glad that like I didn't like do anything, because I took my jacket off immediately. It makes me want to gag even thinking about it. But like I asked my uncle who was like with me, and I was like, did she aim at me? And he was like, I think she was just kind of doing it anywhere she could. Like, because I remember like when I turned back, she was like talking and yelling at nobody and spitting like any direction, like like, okay, you fucking llama, like, what are you doing? But she wasn't, because when I looked back at her, at some point she made eye contact with me. It didn't rile her up anymore or anything. It wasn't, you know, like, it wasn't like the demons were telling her that I'm the devil, you know, like, she was definitely on something. So I took my jacket off, and there was, you know, this San Francisco, there's stores everywhere. I just walked.
Sounds like a paranoid schizophrenic.
It probably.
If I had to guess.
I mean,
like there was a time.
You could tell. She
like
was
I just moved into this apartment like maybe like a year and a half ago, and like last summer there was this guy out there. Like there's a big marble pavilion in the center of Cheeseman Park in Denver. It was built in like 1905. Huge place, all white marble. Must have cost like $1 million back then. Probably.
Marble's not cheap.
No, it's not. White marble too. But like people go out there and like smoke and drink and like and party out there on the weekends. Like I usually go out there on Sunday nights, and there's a bunch of people out there I know that go out there like every week. They'll be out there like spinning poi and like juggling bowling pins and balls and all kinds of, you know, skateboarding and whatever out there. You just drinking and smoking and just having a good time. So there's a bunch of people I go out there and hang out with, usually about once a week. And but one time there was a guy out there one time when I went out in the morning just to stretch, because you could see the Rocky Mountains from out there. There's like in Denver, one of my favorite things about living in downtown Denver is like you could see the front range of the Rocky Mountains and like the tallest buildings in town.
Right.
Like, against the backdrop of the Rocky Mountains. It's a really great view from that pavilion out there. It's like, I wish I had a camera that could capture that view out there, like better than my phone, because like I don't have enough megapixels for it like to do it justice, basically. But it's like the view is like incredible. Like my mom and my sister came out here to visit me a couple of years ago, and she was just breathtaking. She was just you know, she lost her breath because the view. She hadn't been to Colorado since we were like at Estes Park when I was like 4 years old. So she didn't remember like what the Rockies looked like right up close, because we're only like, you know, like 20 miles away from like actually being able to climb the mountains. You know, you could see them. It's that close. So one time there was a guy out there and on the pavilion, he had like a big metal cylinder that had to be at least like 9 inches in diameter. It had to be like titanium or aluminum, or I don't know what it was. I don't know where the fuck he got it from. But like if you would have hit somebody with it, you could easily knock somebody the fuck out. And like he was just going nuts, swinging it around everywhere. And I'm like, and there's like a crawl space underneath the pavilion with like a metal grate that's like locked. Apparently he was like living under there or whatever. So I called the police, and when they finally showed up, you know, because I told them over the night, I told the 911 operator, I'm like, this guy's obviously mentally ill, so you need you guys need to send somebody over that can like deal with that kind of thing. This guy's straight up crazy. So they send like a few officers and like a counselor apparently.
Did it turn on? Is it whirling up though? Did you take the tray out? Okay. Teaching her how to use the air fryer.
Nice. I made fried pickles last night.
And you didn't give me
good.
some?
It was the first time I tried them. It was not the first time I've ate them, but the first time I tried to make them at home. It was pretty good. I had to look at like a batter recipe. I was thinking it would be like, I think I might want to try it with cornmeal instead of flour though. Because I've had the first time I ever tried them was at a bar, and it was really good. But I feel like the batter was like is a lot more brown. So I used like flour,
panko breadcrumbs,
and water,
breadcrumbs.
Salt. So like breadcrumbs, something like that. Because
if you want that crispy, crunchy, use panko breadcrumbs.
Something like that. Yeah, because. Like I've had them at a bar, and it was like I want like that golden brown color, because I made them and it was okay because I made like some like dip sauce too, used like Tabasco and stuff. But it was like I used flour, water, salt, a little bit of garlic powder, like some Italian seasoning, and just like black pepper.
What?
So it was pretty good.
Either one.
But like even after like frying them for like, you know, like 3 or 4 minutes at a time, like the batter was still like this white color, you know.
But I just got word from the giggling infidel that he is not going to be returning. He had a family emergency pop up.
Okay. Hope everything is okay, man.
Oh no, he's fine. He just had to take care of some stuff. Okay. But
that's good.
What we can do is we can wrap this up, and if you want to continue hanging out, then we can go and switch servers so that way we can have a whole party. But let me go ahead and wrap this up. Hey, Phoenix, you got here just as we were saying goodbye. But I'll probably be on VC in my personal Discord server here in a little bit. If you want to join us there, I think you're in that one too, right? Yeah. Did I?
Glad to be with you guys tonight. I think I'm gonna get back to gaming like a huge nerd, because I took a big nap earlier because I drank too much earlier. So now I'm like probably gonna be up all night. And then I had like 2 cans of Red Bull as soon as I got up from my nap, because I went down to Walgreens.
Well,
again,
we might play some like Cards Against Humanity or Jackbox games or anything.
I'm really into my Cyberpunk 2077 game right now.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it's so good. I am so excited for the expansion.
The best part of that game is that you can run around naked.
Well, I mean, and you can fuck a lot. Like, have you played it?
I've watched it be played.
You should so play it. It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Everybody coming and
Like,
popping in, right?
I would love to see you stream that game. That would be so much fun to watch you stream that. Like, have you
no idea what I would be doing.
But I mean, you know what would be fun if you could stream it on the Discord, and then I could be like in the channel with you, and I could give you like tiny little hints or something somewhere, but I wouldn't try to like spoil things for you because I want to see like your reaction. So maybe we could do like, you know how the collab camera is in now? Like maybe we could do that.
On Twitch or?
Yes, that would be so entertaining. Like just think of that. Just think of the clips. Just alone would be great. Like for the SOW channel, if you were to go,
well, I don't have.
And do like
I don't have the game.
Well, you should. Well, I mean, it's on. It used to be. It was on sale a few days ago. It might be on sale on Epic still. I can't remember. But either way, if you can get it, it's like $60.
Not that much at all.
Well, I'm saying, it might be on sale still on one or two platforms. I can't remember, but
I mean, I either play on PC or on the PlayStation. So
do you have So do you have which PS do you have?
The 5.
5. Okay. So you can stream from PlayStation 5. You just have to get the Twitch app on your PlayStation 5. Huh?
Or I already stream from my PlayStation.
Okay, so just I'm pretty sure you'd be able to buy it on the store because it's totally fixed now, even though the disastrous launch. They took it off PlayStation Store for a while, but now it's fine. It should be fine because they have, it's patch 1.6.
Only $10 6 times.
Yeah.
Phoenix, you are absolutely right.
How much is it?
He's all, that's only $10 6 times.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm very excited for the expansion that's going to come out next year. It's going to be crazy. Because if you know CDPR, it's a Polish company that made The Witcher 3, The Witcher series.
I mean, I don't know the company, but yeah.
Yeah, they're very good developers. So people are saying like there was an expansion that they did before for the Witcher series for the Witcher 3. It was called Blood and Wine, and people were saying it was like almost like adding like a whole nother game to the story part of the game. So that's what people are expecting for this new expansion. With it's called Phantom Liberty, and they're bringing Keanu Reeves back to reprise his role as Johnny Silverhand, which is going to be really cool. Because I think he did a great job with the game with the voiceovers. They used his likeness as well, his real face and everything. That was really cool. I've always liked him ever since I saw like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Back when I was a kid. The John Wick movies were fun. If you guys have seen that,
Of course.
Yeah,
I gotta give a
cool.
shout out to Twisted Sparks. He's one of our OGs on the podcast as well, but he just resubscribed to the channel. Thank you very much for that. We love you.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching us here on Squads of War. We appreciate it.
I gotta give him a shout out. That's part of the subscription. He gets a shout out.
Fair enough.
But of course, he has the audacity to work when we're doing the podcast, so he can't participate.
I heard Twitch is like controversial these days. I heard there's like a revenue split change happening.
There was, and it's actually more geared towards the streamer.
Exactly. I heard it's going to be like 70-50. It's going to be like 70-30, and now instead of 50-50.
It's I think it's like 45 to 55 or something like that. I don't know. I have to recheck it. But basically what it is if you just make ads.
I thought they were changing it from like 50-50 ad revenue to like 70-30.
Maybe,
or maybe just,
I mean,
or
they
maybe
just,
it's, or is it the subscriptions? I can't remember.
No, it's for ad views.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. So I've already got, like, as an affiliate myself, I've already got my ad settings set to 3 minutes per hour, just so I do get a good
So
bit of
you'll
ad
get
revenue.
you'll get that
Yeah.
increase. Yeah,
Right. So
you'll get that increase. I had it at the minimum to still make to make money off of ads.
right, exactly.
Switch
Like,
that
and
up. And I am
people,
sorry,
I've seen
viewers, but
people
you're
on
just gonna have to
Twitter
deal with more
talking
ads.
about, turn it off or whatever, and I'm like, man, no. Like the people that know you and and are already followers of your channel and that regularly tune in, of course they're gonna stick around for like a couple of minutes so you can make a few dollars. They're not gonna care
Right.
because
Absolutely.
they're cool. They know you. They know you want to make a few bucks here and there.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've got people. Let me see. They're actually the two.
I haven't even got my first payout yet. I'm probably sitting at about. I'm not sure what I'm going to make up for my last stream, but it was probably about 4. It was at least like 4 hours, so I'll probably make at least a few dollars off the ad revenue. So like I'm probably sitting around about between $85 and $90 on my account right now for Twitch.
Yeah, I want to say since April, and mind you, this was taking a big break during the summer. Since April, I've made almost $200. Just
Not bad. That's pretty
playing
good.
video games and streaming the
Exactly.
discussions. And I mean that's $200 for doing exactly what I would be doing anyway.
Right. My dad thought I was crazy when I told him I was going to do this, and he was like, I was like, Dad.
Thanks. Are these just
And
for me or for us?
Yeah, and he was like,
You want to grab me the ranch? I am white and I lived in Tennessee. Okay, go get me the ranch.
Pizza rolls with ranch.
You uncultured swine. Go get me the
I
ranch.
mean, blue cheese or ranch or whatever. It's good.
you
You ever watch?
ranch.
You ever see that Joey Diaz joke when he's talking about eating hot wings? He's like, "Is blue cheese or go fuck your mother?"
Yeah.
That shit was funny. Like he said that straight in front of.
Don't judge. You eat freaking sushi, okay?
I think he said that on Joe Rogan's podcast, and
And
he was
ranch
like,
on freaking pizza rolls
"Is
is
blue
good."
cheese or go fuck your mother?"
Well,
And
you're
Joe
disgusting.
was like
Take a
dying
shower.
laughing, like in front of the camera and everything. Joe was about to
Take a
die
shower.
laughing.
After I make my food.
That shit was funny. He's like, "Fuck ranch dressing. That shit smells like dick. Get it away from me." Blah, blah, blah.
I'll give you a quarter if you try it.
Fine.
I'd have to find
Nikki.
a quarter, but I'll give you one
Nikki.
when I do.
Did you hear me?
I was bribing her.
Okay, so like Joey Diaz, the comedian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one time he was on like Joe Rogan's podcast or whatever, like he usually was, and they were talking about hot wings, right? And he was like, "I don't like ranch dressing. It's blue cheese or go fuck your mother." And then he started talking about ranch. He's like, "I don't like ranch dressing. It just smells like dick. Get it away from me. I don't want it." Like I've always, I always loved that bit from him, but I've always wanted to ask a woman who likes ranch. A woman who has kids. You know what a man's dick smells like? Do you think ranch dressing smells like dick?
No. And that makes me question what kind of people he's hanging around if he's making that kind of connection. But no.
I mean, I like both.
I do
like ranch dressing and I like blue cheese, so I don't get what his.
I like them both, yeah.
Right, exactly. I'll take both. I mean, but if I'm gonna go to like Buffalo Wild Wings or whatever and have a few beers and go to some hot wings, I'd probably take the blue cheese. But I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna send. But I'm not gonna send the ranch away if they put it on the plate or whatever. I prefer blue cheese when it comes to hot wings, but I mean, if they don't have it, I'll take ranch. That's good too.
Right. I prefer blue cheese on hot wings.
What was funny?
it's buffalo wings.
What's actually pretty good is what state are you from again, dear?
California.
California. Do they have cheddars out there?
Cheddars, like the cheese?
No, like the restaurant, like
No.
Cheddar's. Okay, so there's this place. I think it started like as a franchise in Texas, but they had one in Tulsa. So they had one in Tulsa where I used to work at when I first got out of the military. I went back to waiting tables like I used to when I was a fucking teenager. So, and Because it's an easy job when you have the fucking temperament for it. You know, I don't fucking have the temperament for it anymore. I'll fucking slap somebody. That's why I don't do it anymore. But that was back before the seizures started. So like that was before my whole brain chemistry changed and you know all that. So anyway, it was a big restaurant and they had chicken tenders there. And it was like the biggest thing. It was like the best seller on the menu was the chicken tenders. And they would have like the regular ones or they had the buffalo ones. But the buffalo sauce was made it was just Tabasco sauce and ranch dressing. So they would mix like they would just take ranch dressing and pour one of those big huge bottles of Tabasco sauce in there until it turned like spicy. And that's what they made the buffalo sauce out of. Yeah. It was fucking good though. It was good because they used a lot of fucking Tabasco.
Right.
It was like a 25-75 mix, you know, like Tabasco. It was fucking good.
She's over here talking to her friends or whatever about ranch on pizza rolls, and her friend I guess was like, "Yeah, it's good." She's like, "I'm hanging up on you."
It's okay. I'm not a big pizza rolls fan, but you know, if I'm gonna order frozen pizzas, something frozen pizza related, I'll get the frozen pizzas from Costco. That's what I get. And then get some. I'll order some mozzarella and some Parmesan Romano mix, and then cut one of those pizzas in half. Bake that motherfucker. Just one of those in half. Cut it in half before you bake it. Put some extra cheese on there, man. It's so much cheaper than ordering a pizza, and it's just as good, man. Those things aren't bad.
You know what I haven't had in a long time?
What's that?
I also eat them with ranch. Is bagel bites.
I mean, they're okay. I like bagels, but this is a really good bagel place like a mile down the street. I just never get
having
one.
a full-on panic attack.
Why would you have a panic attack?
Because ranch on pizza rolls.
How are we related?
I mean, so what would you prefer then?
Honey, I am literally a culinarian by profession. Expanding your palate.
Honey, hey. I went to Platt College for both the culinary course and the pastry course. I just this one thing they didn't tell you, like I told you last week of the podcast, it was like, good luck getting a job over $10 an hour is what they didn't tell you. You can go work at a hotel or wherever. You're gonna get paid dick, and the work's gonna be fucking stressful and annoying, and blah blah blah, and fucking hot too.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Get out of my face. She just tried it with ranch, and she's like, "It's not the worst thing in the world."
Yeah, so like one time I tried.
Like
so one time I was in temp work as a cook.
She's gonna be watch. You right now, right? Watch.
So
She's
they
gonna
would
be like,
so like
completely
every
unrelated
time.
to the pizza rolls. Can I have the ranch?
Give me it.
So like, there's so many hotels downtown in Denver on the 16th Street Mall, right? There's like the Hilton, there's the fucking Sheraton, there's the Westin, there's like all the 5-star hotels are like downtown in one spot, right? So they would always send me to the Sheraton most of all, because they were always having banquets over there, because that's a big business hotel. Like the Sheraton has like business conferences. That's their big thing. They're a business hotel, you know.
Hey, Potato,
So-
you actually are
Hey,
catching us
buddy.
right at the end. We've got about 3 more minutes before we're gonna be signing off here.
Yeah. So like so I'll tell you a good story about a time where I almost got in a fight with a chef, right? Okay, so all right, so I go in there, and they send me to the Sheraton, right? Or no, this was the Westin Hotel. This was at like the southern end of the 16th Street Mall. This is the Westin Hotel, a really nice place. And I guess this guy who was the chef was like from France or whatever, some like big French prick who thought he was the shit or whatever. And I go in there. I'm wearing my Air Force veteran hat or whatever. I'm wearing a chef's coat and all the uniform and everything. So I walk in there, and I'm like, "Hello, what would you guys like me to do today?" And he's like, "I want you to slice zucchini." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." So I went to go get a knife off the wall, the biggest chef knife I can find. I go grab the zucchini out of the cooler. He goes, "No, you need to slice this with the meat slicer." I'm like, "What? Are you kidding me? You want me to slice zucchini vertically with a meat slicer? Are you out of your?" I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And he was like, well, you can either do it or you can go home. And I didn't want to get fired from my job or whatever because he called and bitched to my boss or whatever. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll do it. And so I ended up nicking my middle finger on my left hand on the meat slicer. I still got the scar here. I'm sure you can't see it, but I had to get 9 stitches.
Oh.
Yeah. So as soon as I pulled I was like, obviously I pulled my hand back, right? And I'm like, oh shit. So I go straight to the first aid station and start to like wash it off and get some like gauze on there or whatever. And he has the gall to say to me, he's like, hey man, watch out, you're getting blood everywhere. And like everybody's like standing around like, what the fuck's going on? I was like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? I started fucking yelling at him in front of his whole staff. I was like, dude, are you fucking kidding me right now? I told you I didn't want to do this shit. I was like, you're lucky I don't kick your ass right now. And he was like, and then he was like, okay. And then he walked out of the fucking kitchen after that. He walked out because he knew I was about to hit him. And then I walked in and I called my supervisor right after that. It's like, this guy just got me cut. Like, what do I do? And they were like, okay, there's an urgent care like a block from your place. Walk over there and we'll pay for it. Go in there, get your stitches, and you'll be fine. I'm like, and that's what I did after that. But I was like, that's how I almost got in a fight with a front chef.
All right. Well, it is that time. So I am going to go ahead and sign us off. I'm going to mute really quick. Or you guys won't be heard. I won't be able to hear you for a minute. I'll do the closing credits here on Twitch. We can say goodbye to everybody. Bye, Twitch. It's been nice. We'll see you either next week or the week after. We'll know here within the next couple days. Go ahead on the link down below and follow and join our Discord server so you'll be able to get up to date, instant notifications on what's going on with the podcast. So, anyways, let's go into our credits here. It was nice of you to join me again, Patrick. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nikki. And, thank you. Good night, everybody.
Twitch, we will see you soon. Thank you for joining this week's episode. Together, we aim to make change for ourselves and our brothers and sisters in arms. Things aren't always easy for those serving amongst our ranks. And getting the help when our time of service has come to an end can mean life or death. It's time we disrupt the status quo.